AITB for not punishing my daughter for hitting a disabled boy that touched her inappropriately. Hey everyone. First time actually posting. My family consists of me, 32M, my husband, 35M, and our adopted daughter Kayla, 14F. Kayla has autism. She's partially nonverbal, and has extreme sensory issues. She goes to public school with a decent special education program. She's in a class separate from all the other students with multiple teachers. Kayla is really happy and gets along with most of the kids. The class is allowed to join one of the general population gym classes. I was really worried about this at first, but this class is actually really nice to the special ed kids. All the kids in special ed are really nice and sweet, except for this one boy. Josh, 16M, has Down syndrome. Josh's mom is the kind of mom that I can't stand. She doesn't enforce any rules on her son. She never corrects his behavior or tells him no. Josh isn't a mean or violent kid. The problem is that this boy has no concept of boundaries or consent. He's very physically affectionate. My daughter does not like being touched at all unless she specifically asks for it. He's always grabbing her, tickling, hugging, pinning her down to cuddle. She tells him no politely, but that just makes him upset and he tries harder to touch her. The teachers have to constantly stop him. Last Friday, I got a call that the principal wanted to have a meeting after school. Kayla was in trouble for hitting a boy in her class. Kayla was waiting in the office. The principal gave a whole speech about how violence is absolutely unacceptable, etc. I asked her what happened. They were in gym class for free day and Kayla was jogging laps around the gym. Josh was off to the side with a group of girls playing tickle tag. As Kayla was passing by, she felt hands on her butt. She spun around and slapped him across the face. Josh fell to the floor and started loudly crying. He wanted Kayla to join them playing, but instead of asking her, he just ran up behind her and tickled her butt. I felt so bad for my little girl. She was so upset. I assumed the punishment would be dropped, but the principal wanted a week of detention. I was floored. She thought she was being groped. It was self-defense. The principal said Josh wasn't sexually harassing her, he was just playing. Even if he was, violence of any kind is not tolerated. I asked if Josh would be punished for touching my daughter's butt, and he said no. He has Downs, he doesn't know any better. I unloaded on the principal. Are you going to let him graduate and send him out into the world as an adult thinking it's okay to sneak up behind girls and touch their butts? He needs to learn that behavior isn't okay. The principal kept to that same stupid excuse. I stormed out and took Kayla out for pizza. Josh's mom was blowing up my phone the whole time, but I ignored her. My husband agreed that Josh's behavior was inappropriate, and her reaction was reasonable, but that maybe Kayla should apologize to Josh for hitting him. Since he doesn't know why he got hit. AITB. Relevant comments. Conscious_skill 4466. Absolutely NTB. The school administration seriously needs to check themselves and look at security footage or something if this has been a pattern of Josh. The double standards are crazy here, that the fact that he has Down syndrome excuses him but Kayla's autism and sensory issues mean nothing. Ridiculous. Original poster. They think that because he didn't have any sexual intentions that it's all a misunderstanding and he should be let off the hook. Honestly, I can't stand people that don't hold disabled kids accountable when they act inappropriately. Kayla is a lot more mentally developed than the other kids. She's the only one that does work at her grade level and has the mental capacity of a teenager. So she's expected to be a lot more patient and understanding, even when the other kids make her uncomfortable. Bodia Dario. Did they think that people with that condition are incapable of sexual feelings? Because once his hormones kick in and he actually starts wanting that kind of thing, he'll have no actual idea of how to behave, and he'll actually start sexually assaulting people. He needs to be taught about consent ASAP. Original poster. I couldn't include that in the post because of the character limit, but I did bring that up to the principal. He seemed shocked and disgusted that I would even suggest that Josh could have sexual intentions. I think he actually does think that Josh has the mental state of a small child and that makes him incapable of being horny. But he's a 16-year-old boy, it's not out of the question. Unfortunately his mom also seems to think this. Bipolar furry e-girl. NTB zero tolerance policies are bullshit for this reason. She was only defending herself after she was touched without her consent. And I'm assuming she's given Josh warnings before this incident and/or attempt to enforce her boundaries. I'd honestly push the issue of teaching boundaries to Josh and escalate it if teachers, admin try to justify the behavior again. I'm sorry your daughter went through that. I hope she's alright and her being punished is completely unfair. Original poster. She has enforced her boundaries multiple times. She always politely tells him no when he tries to touch her, but he just pouts and tries even harder until a teacher comes over to stop him. My husband and the group chat of other parents from the special ed class don't think the detention is necessary, but about half the group chat thinks she should apologize and we should tell her not to hit people. I don't think it's a big deal. She's never hit another kid before, and if she was actually being groped with sexual intent, I would expect her to hit the creep touching her. Update. Hi everyone. I really did not expect my first post to get nearly as much attention as it got. I had to turn off notifications for the Reddit app because it was constantly blowing up my phone. In my first post, I talked about a repeated issue my autistic daughter, Kayla, 14F, has had with a boy in her class that has Down syndrome. Josh, 16 meters, he has no concept of boundaries and keeps trying to be physically affectionate with people that don't want to be touched, including my daughter. Last week there was an incident where he touched her butt, and she slapped him. The principal wanted to punish her for hitting him, but not Josh because it was just a misunderstanding. The comments under that post were flooded with dozens of stories about people with developmental disabilities that aren't taught boundaries or consent, and go on to commit sexual assault. This honestly has me terrified for the safety of my daughter, and the other kids in her class. What if he's touched other kids inappropriately before? What if he's done even worse? Kayla has a level of mental development to recognize what Josh did was wrong, but I don't know if the other kids in her class would. I showed my husband the Reddit post. He read the comments, and I could see the color drain from his face. He felt awful for suggesting she should apologize to him. We talked for a long time, and decided what to do. First, we sat down with Kayla. We had a long talk about boundaries, bodily autonomy, and consent. We reassured her that protecting herself like that was absolutely the right thing to do. No one should ever touch her like that without her permission. She cried and hugged us a lot. We gave her full permission to stop being polite to Josh. He's had enough polite refusals. If he keeps this up, raise her voice, get aggressive, yell at him, shove him away. It doesn't matter if he cries, she needs to protect herself. And if he gets aggressive, or touches her somewhere inappropriate again, she has our full permission to hit him. Sometimes it's better to be safe than polite. We're going to take the advice many people in the comments gave us. We're filing a police report for sexual harassment and assault against Josh, and going above the principal to the superintendent and the school board. Depending on how those meetings go, we might consult a lawyer. Thank you all so much for opening my eyes. I am going to do everything to protect my daughter. Relevant comments. Eternally_feral. My brother has Downs. He is very loving and friendly and loves to make people laugh. He also understands he can't just go up and hug or touch people. We taught him very young and reinforced that. Josh is touching people inappropriately and that can set him up for others doing the same to him. His mother and that school is failing him. I hope by you taking things further up the chain of command things get settled. Original poster. I feel I should acknowledge this. There are other kids in my daughter's class with Downs, and they're all wonderful kids. Very nice and sweet. A few of them have problems with emotional regulation or following rules, but they're not bad kids at all. Josh and Josh's mother are the problem.